Wait. Hang it. The heck? Where is the face cam? Where's the face cam? Huh? Oh, that's where it went. There we go. I was behind everything. Okay. Alright. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. I'm gonna do a little bit of GeoGuessr before get into the reactions. Okay. I have to load up my stream on my phone. Where is YouTube? There it is. There we go. Okay. Why is it lagging? Not lagging. Why is it buffering? Okay. Do classic maps. World. Play. Pretty good at this. Anywhere in South America, then I will never guess it. Unless it's like a flag. Where'd the plane go? I saw a plane. No, where'd the plane go? No. Checking the volume on it. Okay. Somewhere in the United States, obviously. I think it might be in somewhere in like the Appalachians. I don't know what license plate that is. Maybe like Alabama? Oh wait, is that a state flag? What is that? What flag are these? Is that just like a company flag? Dead super. Yeah, I think we might be in like Alabama. Oh, there's snow on the ground. Okay, no, maybe not Alabama. What is that? I don't know. Yeah, like Tennessee, like this place. Oh my God! I actually got it. It was what's that? Nashville? Yeah, Nashville. Yes. Yeah. Norway. Off rip, I'm guessing Norway. I can't go that way anymore. Are they on a bicycle or are they on a? Are they in a car? Looks like this is a road, so I'm assuming this is a car. What's that? It's a European license plate. Okay, we're not in a car, we're on a bicycle, definitely. I don't know what that bridge is. Okay. Norway. Which one's that? This one. Like northern, not northern, southern Norway. Yeah, like right here. Oh, this bridge isn't curving though. That bridge is curving. Right here. I was nowhere close. That was France. Poland. Actually, this might be the United States. This might be like the middle of nowhere in the United States. Like one of these three states. I'm gonna look a little bit more. Actually, it could be like over here actually. What's that? Oh yeah, no, this is definitely the United States. No, I don't want pigeons. Okay. I am going to guess... Let me hear... I'm gonna guess Illinois. Near, like, Springfield. Not that random roads. Over here. Oh, Canada? I would have never guessed Canada. Especially an island. Where is this, actually? I would have never guessed this place. Even if it's at the Canadian flag, I would have never guessed it. What is this? It's like a track? I don't know, I think this might be like a farm thing. No, I'm not gonna 1v1 anybody. I'm just doing this for a little bit. See if anybody joins stuff, and then I'm gonna get into the reactions. I've seen these before on Roblox GeoGuessr, but I don't think we're in India. That K-truck? You look for like a sign. There's literally a sign right there. Larissa Park. This is in English. Wait. Bullion Park, the countryside. This has to be not Japan. Philippines. Maybe not there. Over here, maybe? Oh, I was almost right. I know it was like in this part of the country. Not country, or planet. Okay, we're either in Africa, like somewhere in Africa, or we're in Australia. Actually, we're in Africa because I'm pretty sure this would be a Google Street View car. If it was in Australia. Okay, where in Africa though? Like, which part of what was that? Which part of South Africa would these type of trees be in? Or like just like genuinely South Africa, not just South Africa. It's just an eternal straight line. It's just a guessing game. This random street. Okay, I was right. It was Africa. It was whatever this country is, Senegal. All right, play one more game and then get into the reactions. Burritos. Yeah, we're obviously in the United States. Off-rip. I'm going off-rip. That is not where I want to go. Chicago. Like, over here, Chicago. God damn it, it was Canada. Okay. Hello. Just doing this last thing in GeoGuessr, and then I'm going to go into reactions. I'm not gonna play with anybody today. Maybe in the future when I have more like viewers and stuff. Why am I going so slow? Maybe in the future when I have more viewers, I'll play with my chat. But the only issue with GeoGuessr is that you have to pay a subscription for it, which sucks. Okay, this isn't that one spot in Canada. You can tell because of this the double lines. Why is my cursor lagging out like that? Okay. Actually, I don't think this is the US. Judging by the very elongated. Oh yeah, that's not even in the United States. Isn't that the smart car logo? I've never seen that type of car before. I've seen smart car, but I've never seen the a van smart car logo. I'm assuming it's France. I'm assuming France. Like over here. Oh my god! Where? How am I supposed to know that? I have never seen an image of Brazil look like that. That's Rainbow Brand. I could have sworn that was smart car, isn't it? Oh, I'm stupid. I thought that was a smart car logo. There. I think we're in New York. Judging by this infrastructure, I think we might be in like Brooklyn, Spain. Kind of does look like a bar. This kind of does look like a Barcelona looking place. Oh yeah, no, definitely. I've seen Bird Box Barcelona. I know where I am. Wait, I just need to know where Barcelona is. Where does one find Barcelona? Right here. Actually, just because it looks like this doesn't mean it's Barcelona. I'm just gonna go Barcelona anyway. UK. Wait. No, this. Wait, that's not even in Spanish. Wait. Kia. Yeah, that's. I don't even think that's in Spanish or France. You're messing with me. You first just say that thing. Oh, does anybody know what this building is actually? Oh, what is this? Official Baptist. Oh, Baptist. Baptist. Where's the Baptist church? Where's that thing at? What country is that? It's not Poland. Is it in Turkey? I did not know Lebanon was right above Israel. Ten seconds for everybody to type out where the Baptist church is. I've got the hard things in the way. Baptist is Hungary? Now, where does one find Hungary? Hungary. Right here. Let's go! Maybe I should have zoomed in a little bit, looked for this logo here. Okay. It sucks that the stream's really delayed. Alright, we're in Saudi Arabia. Elementary school. PTA meetings, back to school night. Those are some fat tires on that bike. South America. Donald. Okay, buddy. Let's not get political in chat. Whatever you believe in. Let's just not get political in chat. South Maryland. When it says South Maryland, like, what does that mean? Does it mean like literally like South Maryland or? No, wait, 97. I should probably look for the highway 97. There's a lot of highway signs. But I just said Donald Trump, he's orange. Yeah, I just passed an elementary school, and judging by what people say about him, yeah, I really want to get that political in chat. And if I just assumed and you were actually just saying Donald Trump, I'm sorry about that, but judging by what people say about him, and I did pass an elementary school, yeah, kind of like correlating things. Yeah, I'm just gonna over here somewhere, like whatever this place is. That's not even south. That's not even south. That is middle north. That's middle north of Washington. That's so stupid. That's like middle of Maryland. That's not even south. I could say Sydney. I could say Sydney Crosby. Who's that? I've heard of Sydney Sweeney. What just happened to all the green? been here before in Forza Horizon 5. That road is south direction. The road is south direction. Oh. Oh, when I see south of Maryland, I'm assuming it's south of Maryland. I'm assuming this is, I'm gonna say Forza. I'm saying this is Mexico. But, like, this could look like Mexico and it's not Mexico. Upper Back Grain area. I think Nevada Desert area. Oh wait, what's the license plate? Is that the license plate? It is in fact not. It is in fact not Nevada. Black people. That kid peeing? Oh, that is unfortunate. That is some bad timing. Ah, wait, that thing said 400 meters. What's this? Okay. I'm assuming South America. This is some really nice scenery though. Like, Bolivia? Actually, no. Could possibly be Argentina. Middle East. I don't think it's the Middle East. Or Portugal. I could. Maybe Portugal? No, I never... Africa. Okay, I don't think this is Africa. I am going to guess Argentina, because it's always... Every single time I go over here, when it looks like this, it's always somewhere in South America. Argentina. Like, over here. Actually, no, there were black people. It's not Argentina. I'm stupid. Peru. Like, over here. No, those roads are too windy. Like, around here. Damn. I should have listened to my chat. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna do a everything you wanted is gonna be 10 seconds, and then I'll get into reactions. How do I do that? Time limit. 10 seconds. Alright, I have 10 seconds. Nobody has any time to help me. Northern France. It was France, okay. Did I tell you? I would have never guessed that was South Africa. South Africa has a bunch of different types of terrains. Place the marker! Oh, come on, Colombia. Thailand. This does not look like Thailand. Oh, actually, I was right. Kind of. It was in, what's this country? Is this Malaysia? Is this whole country Malaysia? It's not saying the country. Wait, what's that? I don't have time to look at things. Turkey. Wait, would it be Turkey? Turkey has the, those things. Yeah, France. Mexico, I don't think you would be able to guess in time. There's only like 10 seconds, especially because of the delays. This looks like the most stereotypical, town ever. Utah. Vote Utah! I'm pressing Utah! It was California. I'm gonna be salty about that. I was clicking on Utah. Okay. Whatever. Whatever. I'm going into the reacts. Screw that. Can I click this? Thank you. My God. Okay. Gonna react to these videos. Maybe a little bit more. First we're gonna react to Cop hunts down teen water park shooter. Then one of these three. I don't know which one I'll do yet. Actually, I'll do a poll actually for which one's gonna be the next video. Start a poll. What should I watch next? Okay. The dumb best conspiracy theories. I spelled both of those wrong. No crash, but 500 dead. I spelled dead wrong. I spelled deed. Okay, add an option. And what's the other one? The staircase. Wait. The staircase that changed. That changed. Changed American schools. There we go. It's not letting me start the poll. Why can I not? Is it because I spelled things wrong? Why is it not letting me start the poll? You must contain 1 and 35. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Okay. 1 and 35 characters? Okay. School stairs. Oh, wait. Fire in school. Boom. Okay. There we go. Alright, vote on one of these three. Alright, first video. Cops hunt down teen water park shooters.
Dear Acorns, growing up, I had a tough childhood, but it's the reason I worked so hard today. Now
That's loud.
Come on! Lincoln Pool Special, we just had 4 or 5 shots just northeast of us.
On June 11th, 2025 in Columbus, Ohio, officers were working special duty at Lincoln Park.
Off rip, I'm just gonna say, I don't get, that is a interesting looking water park. Off rip, I'm just gonna say, I don't get shootings. Like, obviously you shouldn't do them. But, okay, after I just said that, how do I phrase this? Guns are bad. I'm just gonna shut up.
Multiple gunshots nearby. The pool was
Like, I know what I want to say, but I don't know how to phrase it.
crowded with families enjoying the day. When the gunfire triggered a rapid evacuation and widespread panic, officers immediately moved to secure the area and locate the source of the shots.
Taylor, are you okay?
Why are they just standing?
Location of your emergency.
Lincoln Park, they're shooting. We need help.
Wait, who's shooting?
I don't know. I'm a kid. And
That
I'm
is the slowest running cop I have ever seen. That's jogging pace.
When it happened, and I heard a gunshot, and everybody, all the lifeguards, they run to the bathroom.
Was he a black guy?
Yes.
In all black clothing?
Yes.
How many of them?
He said it was 2 people, but he didn't know where they went.
Alright, City, we're gonna get an officer out there, okay?
We're not seeing anybody. It was like the back. Yeah, like between the rec center and the complex. Right up here.
Can I get a street name?
Oh my god, they got the bike cop. Yo, if I ever become a cop, I think it'd be sick to ride a bike instead of driving a car. Obviously, I would want to drive a car. Why does that thing say sleep? On his bike, it says sleep.
East of us. Yeah. It was right here at 1720, I promise. We got cases.
Pizza guy.
Alright, excellent. Not getting myself killed to deliver a pizza.
Are you okay? Yes. Do you know where it was, or you see a car? It was. This casing's right there.
Wait, was this not even a shooting? It kind of looks like it was just somebody shooting a gun near near an apartment complex. It doesn't even seem like that they shot inside a water park.
Yeah. You see anybody?
No, I had just came in taking my trash in.
Dude, it was pop, 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 pop. And then,
Come here, Frankie.
Frankie.
come here, Pop. Come here.
We were rolling out before we need to out. There's more.
Yeah, pick up the dog.
Last scene going.
No, you're not obligated to do it, but
There are 3 juveniles.
I didn't see anyone go that way. I just saw 3 male blacks walking that way. Me and him will go. You
Go,
guys.
yeah, go. We'll stay here. Tony was outside, so he was closer. He's seen some people run that way. And my fat ass is all out of breath.
I don't know if you saw him.
I'm not surprised you're at a jogging pace.
You guys drove past me.
Yeah.
As soon as I turned onto this street, westbound, south of the actual Barack Center.
Hot take. If you're a cop, you should every single year. I feel like you should have to do like a 100-meter dash to see like if you're physically fit.
Yeah, there's.
Like you should have to run like half a mile or a full mile in like whatever like the average time to run a mile is.
3 male blacks just walking west.
West, going this down.
Yeah,
down
going towards the park. Yeah. So me and Shopper will go.
And the shell casings are up here.
Yeah, shell casings are right there by Abbott. Alright. I'll see if we can pick them back up. See if they run.
They might have blood over there. No one aired it, but they might have a blood splatter right there.
I've got a witness that said he saw 3 kids, 14 to 16, wearing black. One was on a bike. The one with the 33 was not on the bike, and they took off eastbound from
right there.
The street here.
Why are you riding in the grass? The guy on the sidewalk is just cruising. Get the pedal.
Hey, hands! Show me your hands. Hands! All of you, stop!
Awesome,
Stop right there! Stop right there! Stop right there! Show me your hand! Show me your hand! Stop breathing!
Got one running. Don't f***ing move! Don't f***ing move! Down! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Down! Show me your hands!
Why did he just shoot? Wait, what just happened?
Don't f***ing move! Down! Get on the f***ing ground! Get on the ground! Down! Show me your hands!
What is he doing? Got on the ground. Ooh. Ooh, I think that's not good. Ooh, that's not good. He was getting on the ground. I saw there was no weapon there. Oh, that's not good for the cop.
Hey, stop!
Yeah, there's running.
Shot fired.
Shots fired.
I copy, shots fired, 10-3.
Did you not hear the gunshots?
Northbound through the park. Yeah, he's right there.
He's reaching. He just threw something. Whoop.
Sharing is over.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Nope. For it.
Intermission time. How's everybody doing? In Tibia. Oh shoot. It's already almost done. Are they? Oh no, there's not that. But there's a gun there? Oh, there was a gun. What idiot would reach for the gun? Turn your... Oh, shoot. I forgot to turn that thing back on. Thank you for telling me.
Hey, get up! Hey, get up with muzzle in front of me! Get up, please, I'm bleeding.
I copy, taking one into custody.
Are you guys okay? Fuck you, buddy.
Oh no. Man, somebody call. Guys, keep your hands out on the side. Keep your hands out on the side. Okay.
Bro, help me. What you got?
Yeah.
What you got? We're gonna take him into custody.
Okay.
Why are they still pointing? Well, obviously they have to point, but why are they not going up to the person and, like, handcuffing them and getting the gun? I saw, like, how many cops? Like, 20 of them?
Help him!
I'm getting you in cuffs.
Help him!
Now they are.
You got it? Yep. Get him up.
I feel like you wanna go to the guy that's, like, on the gun first.
You out. Get out. He shot me. Come on. Yeah, I got lethal.
Alright, stay. Get back. No, come back.
Be careful. Don't move. Come on.
Go with the bike helmet on.
take cuffs. Hey, I got two in the car right here. Move up, I got lethal.
What, does he have a bomb on him? Why are they not going to arrest him? Wait, what did he just grab all of them? He just grabbed something off the cop.
Move up, I got lethal. Hey, 33 right by you.
Oh no, he just pushed the cop. Oh, it was like useless.
No, Pittman. It doesn't matter. I know, we're getting there in a second.
Shit, I got blood on me. I got blood on me.
We might need to go in here and look. When I was coming across, he pitched the gun. I don't know.
I'll go in there.
Because when he came from between the buildings, I watched him throw it.
Hey, I got two in the car right here.
Why do you think they were shooting? Do you think it was just like a just like the people just like shooting for no reason? Because that happens where I live. They just like shoot their gun for no reason. As in like celebrating or something. But like, why do you think they did it? Not even a hot take. Why did I say hot take? If you're going to shoot a gun for no reason, don't do it in a populated area. Go to like the middle of nowhere and shoot it. Like a rural area and shoot your gun. Even then, don't even shoot your gun.
People out. Yeah. It's underneath the driver. Okay.
I am as well.
All right, here.
How many officers support do we need?
Hey, just walk with me. Just walk with me over here. Okay. Just walk with me. You're fine. You're fine.
Oh, I got you. Man, back up. Back up. Back up. He got a GSW in the shoulder.
Is it shoulder?
Yep, right there.
Okay.
Do you have a tourniquet?
Yeah. No,
Anyone have a tourniquet?
tourniquet?
Yeah.
Yep.
Who was that lady?
Where you hit?
Right there. You're good. You're good, buddy. You're good. You're good, man.
Oh, he was shot.
You're good, buddy. You're good.
Go up as high as you can.
Yep.
Interesting how they're actually showing it.
Hang tight. Hang tight. Hang tight. I know.
Your leg shot too?
It's gonna hurt, dude.
It's gonna not feel good, buddy.
But this will save.
Interesting. You would think that they would call like AMR or something to do this. I didn't know that sometimes they would actually just put them in the cop car and just drive them to the hospital or something like that.
There you go.
Where are you shot out? In your leg right here? Alright.
He threw something. I can't say it was a gun, but it was black. And it was big enough that I could see it from over there.
One of them is an imposter. One of them has a gun.
Oh, there it is. I knew he threw it. I saw him pitch it.
I know this might be messed up for me for thinking this, but I've always thought if somebody's going to do a mass shooting, why don't they buy an LMG and go to like a concert or something? Like I don't get it why people that do mass shootings go to a residential neighborhood or something. Or maybe they do and I just don't know.
You are shot in the arm and leg. Hang tight right now. Shut up.
Why are they showing it though?
Over here in the pool. I copy another one, remember? Can we get
That is swole.
Alright, buddy. Hold still. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. Face that way. Pull it tighter. Pull it tighter. Alright, bud. It's gonna hurt, so. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Devin, I got.
I'm just gonna skip this. Oh, because that's just basically the end of the video. Okay. No. Alright, so the vote for the other thing was like a 50-50. Um, I'll do a number of like 1 to 50, and like the all right, no crash with 50 dead will be odd number. Random number generator. Here we go. Max 50. All right, so the no crash will be an odd number. Okay. Wait, did it do it? Oh shoot. All right, 39. All right. Oh shoot. The heck? Where did it go? All right, well, and pull. All right, then so it's gonna be the no crash with 50 people dead. Okay, all right. And then after that, we'll watch this, and then the dumbest conspiracy theories.
So, this week, Domino's large two-topping pizzas.
Why do I want pizza all of a sudden?
When life drops the unexpected.
Why did the chat rate go up when I ended the poll? Who is this by? Fascinating war.
On the 3rd of March 1944, a coal-powered freight train approached the entrance of the Army tunnel near the town of Balvano in Italy. Officially, there were less than a dozen people on board, all of them crew. By the time the train exited the tunnel, however, the leading engines would have been responsible for more than 500 deaths. The worst disaster to ever take place on any railway in recorded history. In 1944, Italy was a country in turmoil. They started the Second World War under the leadership of Benito Mussolini, allied with Nazi Germany. But after a disastrous military campaign in North Africa, the country was being invaded by Allied troops.
I love learning about some like World War II things. Like, did you know that I think it was the end of World War II, the the Nazis allied with the U.S. at like a prison or something because the Nazis were like going to like shoot all the prisoners, and the Nazis at the prison didn't want the prisoners to die, so they called for help they called the Americans for help.
In 1943, Italy signed an armistice with the Allies, but was then bombed by Germany. German forces rescued Mussolini and put him in charge of a puppet state in northern Italy, called the Italian Social Republic, who fought the Kingdom of Italy in the south for control. In short, in 1944, Italy was the setting for a civil war taking place in the middle of a world war. All over Europe, resources were scarce, with supplies and materials being diverted for the war effort, sometimes to the detriment of civilians. In Italy, troops and military equipment were given priority over civilians.
You think there was inflation for some stuff because of like inflation for like metal, because a lot of the metal was going to go to the war? I would imagine so.
Travelers on public transit. This left many civilians simply unable to get seats on passenger trains. With no other option, it became common for people to climb aboard and stow away on freight trains to get where they needed to go. Supplies were scarce. Food that was grown on farms was usually sent to the front lines, with only a small amount of it making its way to cities, like Naples, for people to live off. To combat this, people in the cities would travel out to the countryside with goods that they could acquire from Allied troops, such as coffee or cigarettes, and exchange these for dairy products and meat with which they could feed their families. With so few train tickets available, hopping onto freight trains was the main way in which city dwellers traveled out to farms to make these essential.
Did it get hit by like a plane, like a bomb, and everyone on the freight train died?
Trades. Some routes that were commonly used for this even became known as Black Market Express routes. All of this, both the train hopping and the black market trading, was technically illegal, but the authorities didn't intervene. The practice was filling a huge gap in the market. Allowing it to continue kept peace in the cities and helped to keep ordinary citizens from starving. One other resource that was in short supply was coal. Many trains in Italy at the time ran on coal, with only a few lines that had been fully electrified. This meant that on some routes, electric engines would have to be replaced midway to their destination by steam locomotives. Since coal supplies were scarce, train drivers would burn any coal that they could get, even poor quality coal, which generated less power and produced large amounts of odorless, poisonous carbon monoxide. In February 1944, a train traveling from a US military base passed through a tunnel on the Barragiano-Tito route. While inside the tunnel, the train driver was overwhelmed by the fumes given off by the coal and fainted. He fell in between the engine and the tender and was killed as a result. The death was regarded as a tragic accident, and no remedial action was taken to prevent a similar
Just pull a random girl from the back of the train, have her drive it.
thing from happening again. The Naples to Potenza line was one of those often referred to as a black market express route. It took people from Naples out into the countryside through the Apennine Mountains. The line out of Naples was electrified, but as trains approached the city of Battipaglia, steam engines would be swapped in. The non-electrified part of the track carried on up and through the mountain, with some incredibly steep sections that required considerable power.
Oh my god.
On ESPN, it's always championship season.
Dude, I
On
don't
the 2nd
care.
of March 1944, 45 goods wagons set off from Naples. This was train 8017. In addition to the official cargo, there were nearly 500 extra passengers on board. Many of them headed out to rural farms to complete black market trades. At 7 p.m, the train reached Battipaglia, where a steam engine was swapped into place at the head of the train. During this stop, an unknown number of passengers also joined the train. By the time it left, there might have been as many as 700 unofficial passengers on board. At around midnight, the train reached Balvano Ricciano station, where it stopped briefly for maintenance, before it began the ascent to the Army Tunnel around 50 minutes later. It was slow going. The train reached a top speed of around 15 kilometers per hour, or 9.3 miles per hour.
Dude, you know what I don't get? Trains that are like 2 miles long and going up steep hills. I don't get how they could do that with like 2 engines. That has to weigh like a million tons. Actually, not a million tons. How many tons would that be? Like 100K?
As it made its way through a thick fog to the tunnel's entrance. The usual practice was for the staff at Bellamuro station on the other side of the tunnel to send a signal back to Balvano when the train had safely made it all the way through the tunnel. But that night, no signal was sent. It is not certain exactly why the train stopped in the middle of the winding Army Tunnel, which stretches around 1.8 kilometers or 1.1 miles through the mountain. The most likely scenario was that the excessive weight, coupled with the poor quality fuel, meant that the train struggled to cope with the turns and the 1.3% incline. Further, the rails may have been wet, causing the wheels to slide despite the sandboxes that had been deployed to try and prevent this. For whatever reasons, at around 2 a.m, the train came to a halt with all but the last couple of wagons inside the tunnel. Not long before train 8017 had entered the tunnel, another train had passed through. Because of this, the air inside the tunnel was already thick with smoke. Ventilation in the tunnel was very poor, and as the drivers attempted to restart train 8017, more and more carbon monoxide was released into the air. There was no way for drivers at the front of the train to communicate with drivers at the rear. So when the drivers at the front tried to reverse back out of the tunnel going downhill, The drivers at the back assumed that the movement was the result of the train slipping backwards, and quickly applied the brake. At this time of night, many of the unofficial passengers were asleep, but even those who were awake were completely
Oh my
unaware
god, did they
of the
die
danger
of
they were
carbon
in.
monoxide poisoning?
The carbon monoxide was odorless and colorless. By the time passengers began to realize that something was wrong, many people had fainted. The drivers at the front of the train were the first to lose consciousness. Several passengers were able to disembark from the train and attempt to escape by running back along the rails, but most of them were overwhelmed by carbon monoxide and collapsed at the trackside before they could make it to fresh air. Eventually, one of the brakemen at the rear of the train, a man named Michel Polo, realized that there was a serious problem. He disembarked and ran on foot back to Balvano Ricciano station to request help. It was around 5:10 a.m. when he finally arrived there, far too late for the majority of the passengers on board train 8017. Many of them had already passed away in their sleep, in most cases entirely unaware that anything was amiss.
I thought that the like a plane was going to bomb it. What?
A train was sent to remove the stricken 8017 from the tunnel, but couldn't get close enough to do so, as the tracks were littered with bodies. It took nearly 3 hours to remove these, and then clear the train from the gas-filled tunnel. The official casualty count was 517, but there are indicators that there may have been as many as 626 bodies. In the immediate aftermath, these were laid out at Balvano Ricciano station before being moved to Balvano Cemetery, where they were hurriedly interred in mass graves. Only 235 of the dead were ever positively identified, and only the crew of the train were afforded formal burials. Strict censorship was in place due to the war, and so the disaster went unreported. The Allies were worried it would impact civilian morale, while the Italian authorities were keen to distance themselves from...
I feel like if you told the public about that, they would be like, oh, that's sad. I don't think they would blame the Allies.
...such a deadly tragedy.
I think it would just be a massive miscommunication by the train drivers.
It wasn't until 1951 that a parliamentary commission investigated the accident, although by this time, little in the way of evidence remained. Nobody was ever prosecuted over the disaster, which remains one of the deadliest to ever take place on any railway. The disaster was blamed on poor quality coal. In the midst of a devastating war,
I wouldn't really blame it on the coal. I feel like if anything, you would blame it on the tunnel not having any ventilation.
Was responsible for the quality of coal. The intense censorship at the time of the disaster, coupled with the fact that most of the victims were desperately poor, meant that there was little public outcry. Those who had lost loved ones had no choice but to stay focused on their own struggle to remain alive. Officially, those who died were classed as casualties of the war. In a sense, they were, although they died not as a result of bombing campaigns or fighting, but instead as a result of the chaos and the disintegration of normal life that often comes to pass when the citizens of a country at war are struggling simply to survive.
Man, that's crazy. I did not think that would have been due to carbon monoxide poisoning. I thought it'd be like, oh, the freight train got hit by a bomb or something. Alright. I am going to get something to eat real quickly. Not eat, to drink real quickly. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. I'm back in less than 30 seconds. Oh my god. I got my drink from yesterday. Alright. Next video. The staircase that changed American schools. I can move this if, thank you.
Walmart Plus Assist offers 50% off a membership if you qualify for government assistance. And
it's 2:30 in the afternoon, and Miss Tristano, a rookie teacher, she's watching over her classroom of 60 fifth graders. That's twice as many as this room is designed to hold. It's the late 1950s, and it's the peak of the baby boom. Chicago simply has not been able to build school buildings fast enough. As everyone awaits the final bell, 2 girls volunteered for the daily ritual of emptying the classroom's wastebasket. Back then, every school had an incinerator down in the basement for garbage. Only minutes before, a boy on the same route decided to light a quick cigarette. When he was through, he absentmindedly flicked the contraband into a bin on his way back upstairs. The girls didn't notice as they passed on the way down, but as they headed back, the stairwell was full of thick, dark smoke.
Has there ever been anti-smoking propaganda?
They were spreading fast. At that moment, due to that building's construction, its fate was sealed. The question now was whether students and teachers would be able to make it out alive. But without having ever done a fire drill where people are trained what to do, time was of the essence. So in a panic, the pair ran back upstairs to tell their teacher. But Miss Tristano, she didn't know what to do either. She had her students stay put while she went and checked next door in room 207 with the more experienced teacher. Turns out that at this school, only the principal had the authority to call for an evacuation. So Miss Tristano sprinted down the hallway to the principal.
Dude, that's like saying in a school shooting, the principal's the one that says if you have to hide or not. Like, bro, in a school shooting, the second I hear a gunshot, bro, I'm dipping.
Office got permission and rushed back to her class. She quickly lined everyone up and led them.
Mr. Principal, do we have the permission to leave? I mean, have they learned their algebra yet? Teach them algebra and then they can leave. But sir, the entirety of the basement, not the basement, the entirety of the first floor is on fire currently. Just teach them algebra.
Out through the nearest exit. That was a door that happened to be right next to an outdoor staircase. At that exact same time, on the other side of the building, a janitor had spotted the red glow coming from the basement windows. He immediately told the housekeeper to go call the fire department while he ran to get a ladder to help. With her students finally safely outside, Miss Tristano ran back into the burning building to pull one of the school's only 2 fire alarm switches. Both of them were mounted 6 feet off the ground in order to discourage any student mischief.
Okay, that's crazy.
Once pulled, however, these alarms don't...
Actually, that is the same thing as teachers taking away kids' phones since there's like a high risk of school shootings.
Automatically notify the
department. Like, not high risk. I do think a school shooting, what's it called? I do think that they're like over dramatized, that it doesn't actually happen like every single day. It probably happens like once every like 3-4 months. I mean, that's still way too much. I mean, 1 is way too much.
They only ring bells inside of the building. So even though everyone inside heard the alarms ringing, for many classrooms, it was already too late. The hallways were already impassable. They were completely filled with smoke. The only chance for kids trapped in the northeast side of the building.
Mr. Principal, there is smoke currently. There's fire currently right outside my door. Permission to leave. But have you teach them geometry? Trigonometry yet? Have they gotten A+ on calculus?
Was to await rescue through the
have every single student get an A+ on calculus, then you can leave.
Outside windows, almost 3 stories above the ground. Meanwhile, the housekeeper finally reached a phone and dialed the fire department at 2:42 p.m. But in her panic, she gave the wrong address, 3808 Iowa Street. The school was actually located at 909 North Avers Avenue. Despite all that confusion, the first fire brigade actually arrived 2 minutes later, 2:44 p.m. They had to smash through a locked 6-foot iron gate just to get to the school grounds. And over the next 11 minutes, they rescued 160 children. But at 2:55, the building's roof finally collapsed, leaving 92 children and 3 nuns who never were able to make it out. News of this tragedy spread until it was the main topic of news across the globe. In fact, the response to this disaster was probably the fastest and the most sweeping reaction to any single fire in American history.
Look, I think it was an explosion. Did you guys hear about the explosion at school that Adolf Hitler sent his condolences to? I think, like, I don't know if this is, my memory is like skewed on this topic. I think there was like an explosion in a school that killed like over 100 kids or something, and Hitler sent his condolences. I don't remember if it was before or during.
People were horrified by the sheer scale and loss of just innocent lives, and the newspaper ran these heartbreaking photographs that were taken by local journalists that were able to effectively humanize the toll. Immediately, cities started taking threats from fire seriously. Los Angeles was particularly vigilant, where officials began staging drills called Operation School Burning. The school district donated a soon-to-be demolished building to the fire department for them to be able to perform testing on. They set over 150 fires inside, and they included a wide array of sensors and documentation so that they were able to model the effects of smoke and survivability in a multitude of different scenarios. For example, the effects
Build just like a skyscraper in the middle of the Nevada desert and just explode it.
of different
Or like set it on fire from the bottom.
finish materials on classroom walls and how it affects temperature over time. Meanwhile, the National Fire Protection Association launched an investigation in Chicago trying to piece together exactly why so many died. They found a clear pattern in the fatalities. They were clustered around a very specific set of classrooms that were near the stairwell where the fire first started. All except room 207, which even though it's right in the middle of the highest of danger zones, all students got out safely. That room happened to have a back door leading to the same exit that Miss Tristano's class took to escape. The rooms further away filled with smoke last, and they were close enough to the other exits so that the students were able to get out safely. But rooms 208, 209, and room 210 had no easy way out once they realized the danger.
I just realized, do classrooms that have windows have ladders that are on second stories? Like there's like a ladder that's in like the frame of the window that you can take off the frame of the window, like the bottom part of it. Like that window right there. Like there's like a thing at the bottom that you can take off and there's like a ladder and you can like put it out the window. Do schools have that?
These details helped the investigators understand exactly how the fire spread inside of this building, but the real problems that led to so many deaths were already obvious. The NFPA quickly blamed the Chicago Archdiocese for keeping kids in what they called, quote, a fire trap. Honestly, it's almost exactly what it was. There were dozens of problems here, basic safety issues that wouldn't pass even the most casual inspection today. Just look at the main stairwell, where it all started. It acted just like a giant chimney. The wooden stairs were perfect fuel, the hallway and windows below provided oxygen, and the open stair shaft above facilitated a stack effect, which pulled smoke upward rapidly, spreading it throughout the building. If the school had been built according to the building codes that were in place since 1948, over a decade before the fire, things would have looked very different. For starters, the stairwell would have been enclosed by fire-resistant walls, and the stairs themselves would have been made of materials that don't easily burn. Each floor would have had fire-rated doors that automatically close based on heat sensors detecting danger and keeping smoke contained into smaller areas instead of letting it spread throughout a floor. Those same heat sensors would have instantly sounded alarms, both inside the building and directly to the fire department, triggering sprinklers to douse the flames before they grow out of control. It would have also signaled an external box to show arriving emergency personnel exactly where the fire is located inside of the building. But
For me,
Why? These freaking ads. I hate it. Why is it that long? Ooh, I can skip it. Sheets. shoot.
Teachers weren't really trained for these kinds of things.
Sorry.
Called the grandfather clause. Basically says, hey, your building's old, you don't have to change it right away. But after this fire, when people realized just how dangerous that loophole was, the entire country said enough. Over the next year alone, more than 16,500 schools across the US, schools that had previously dodged safety upgrades, were finally brought up to code. In Chicago, things were even more intense. The fire commissioner at that time, Robert Quinn, he immediately put firefighters on guard duty at dozens of public and private schools that he considered to be high risk. They literally stood watch around the clock until the buildings were made safe. And on top of that, the city ramped up inspections everywhere, quickly checking every single school in the city. But it wasn't just the buildings themselves that needed fixing. Before the fire at Our Lady of the Angels, teachers weren't really trained for these kinds of things. Remember how Mr. Stano had to run to the principal first just to get permission to evacuate? That cost precious minutes. Afterwards, schools changed their approach so that
If I'm a teacher in the 50s and I have to get permission from the principal to leave, if I see smoke, especially black smoke in the building, I'm immediately evacuating the building.
teachers had clear instructions.
Well, the classroom.
If you see smoke or fire, pull the alarm immediately. Do not wait, don't ask permission, just get everyone out safely right away.
Don't hesitate, even for a second.
This marked a huge shift in how schools handled fires. Just trust teachers, trust their judgment rather than waiting around for someone higher to say go.
Do you know where that is? Or indeed what it is, or how to operate it? Or will you be running around in circles trying to find it, or looking for someone to do the job for you?
Schools and fire departments started working closely together, giving teachers training in how to act during a fire, to close the classroom doors, to keep out smoke, don't open doors if the hallway looks dangerous, and most importantly, how to calmly get kids out of the building. Another immediate change, and one of the more iconic, I think, came by way of fire drills. Before 1958, a lot of schools barely ever practiced evacuations. Some didn't do it at all. But after this tragedy, cities and states across the country passed laws.
Make sure you're staying in a single file line.
Making regular fire drills.
The fire is literally like not even 10 feet away. Everybody, make sure you're staying in a single file line. Walking at 2 miles an hour pace down the hall.
Dude,
like if it's on a first floor and there's a window there and the fire is like right outside the door, open the window.
Mandatory. Illinois, for example, requires 3 fire drills per year, a practice that quickly became standard across the United States, and that's a direct result of what happened at Our Lady of the Angels. The influence goes even further because firefighters also realized how important it was to practice evacuating in less than ideal conditions. Fire blocks exits, so schools began doing blocked exit drills, intentionally blocking the main escape routes during practice. And that way, students and teachers could learn to think quickly and find alternate ways out. All of these changes, better codes, regular drills, and teacher training, came together in reaction to this single event. And it wouldn't be long before these new approaches would be put to the test. Only 2 weeks after Our Lady of the Angels fire, an eerily similar one broke out in nearby Kenilworth, Illinois. It too was an older school building with combustible construction, with wooden interiors and things like that. This fire started in a closet at the base of a basement stairwell where it had the potential to grow and spread rapidly. It was almost the exact same setup. The main difference in Kenilworth is that the school had practiced a successful fire drill rehearsal following the new procedures. They even practiced a blocked exit scenario. And by sheer coincidence, or maybe some other force, the stairwell where the fire occurred was the very same one that was blocked during the drill. Not a single life was lost. In fact, since 1958, there's not been another school fire with more than 10 lives lost. So the mandatory changes enacted a reaction that seemed to have
more the deaths than the other ones
worked. That doesn't mean that we're out of the woods, though. New pressures on school buildings to protect against shootings or other dangers can create direct conflicts with fire safety. For instance, I think safety for one means susceptibility for the other. More doors for fire offers more points of access that are difficult to monitor and control. Even so, today in an average year, we'll see about 5,000 building fires across the US, but they rarely result in fatalities. The majority of these incidences are arson or students playing with lighters in the bathroom. Safer building design and training for students and staff has come a long way. But there's another shift that I think is relevant. The idea that you can just trust the way that a building looks to tell you if it's safe or well built is always worth questioning. While an old brick church and school might look enduring because it's old, that doesn't necessarily mean that we shouldn't question whether it should stay that way. In fact, our next video goes into how our homes evolve in response to various pressures to change. Fire codes are one of them, but our home is impacted by social and behavioral and market forces. And
I did not know that you have to build a house up to code. I thought you could just build it however you wanted to. Well, obviously, electricity, that has to be up to code, and plumbing, obviously.
Formation and disappearance of the parlor and the dining room in this fascinating video, which is available right now, 3 weeks before YouTube on Nebula. In fact, if you only catch me here on YouTube.
Okay, now let's do your Nebula ad. Okay. Alright, last video. Maybe I watched another one, I'm not sure. The dumbest conspiracy theories, and I know for a fact there's going to be an ad.
Credit One Bank presents
Knew it.
Max Out. He's a credit.
This video today is sponsored by War Thunder. Conspiracy theories. The best way to make dumb people feel smart since the invention of Adderall. And let's be clear here, I'm not going to be talking smack about this cute little world of conspiracy believers. Much like every person in the Silk Song subreddit before this weekend, I too want to believe. I mean, have you seen the world right now? No bueno, senorita. It's bad. It would be so cool if there was something else that I could, like, dump my mental abilities into instead of staring at my Twitter feed and hope.
The most, I think the biggest conspiracy theory in the world is, the two most biggest conspiracy theories in the world is that the Earth is flat and 9/11 was caused by the U.S. government.
Hoping for certain government buildings to.
What? I will say, why did the terrorists just not aim for the bottom of the Twin Towers? Would have got more lives if they would aim for the bottom.
I don't know if we can include that, but
Also, it would have been more believable for the towers to collapse, because if the planes would have hit the bottom of the buildings, the structure at the very bottom of the buildings would have been much more easier to fall over.
I do that. But there's just one problem I'm coming across with conspiracy theories right now, and that is that they're dumb-dumb. They're big dumb-dumb. Big stupid dumb-dumb hour. I hate them. They make me mad. That's not to say that all conspiracy theories are dumb. I've talked about some cool ones in the past. Them's are some legit Stevens. Legit, I can't think of a better name for, like, a nickname. Like Debbie Downer. Legit Leroy's. I don't know. All conspiracy theories come from the same root, the same basis, but man, just some conspiracy theories are so much stupider than the other ones. Like on one hand, we have
Mark Zuckerberg is a lizard person.
MK Ultra, a government brainwashing use of drugs that made people go crazy, and that is almost 100% proven to be real. And then on the other hand, we have the constantly debunked theory that the government controls the weather. So going into the world of conspiracy theories, you have to ask yourself the
chemtrails. I hate the chemtrail theories. Just because you see a line of smoke in the sky doesn't mean it's a chemtrail. I mean, they've been a thing since planes were first invented. I mean, there's literal videos showing, like, propeller plane, taking off, and there's, like, stuff, like, not stuff, like, not the wing, oh my god, the propellers are, like, causing, like, stuff to, like, you can see stuff coming off the propellers.
Question, okay, how much am I willing to turn my brain off for a little bit to heavily enjoy a lie that's being told to me? Because I'll be honest, I love believing in lies. Oh my god, is it so much fucking fun to believe in lies. Whether it be small town gossip, some ruckus of close-up magic, it's all fun, baby. It's fun to pretend. And it's the same with dumb conspiracy theories too. They make the world just a little bit more fun, a little bit funner, if you will. Like the urban legend that 80s heartthrob Richard Gere stuck an entire gerbil up his. Actually, YouTube won't let me tell you where he stuck that gerbil, but I can tell you over on extratug.com. We're doing these in the middle now. For $4 a month, less than the price of that poor gerbil, you get. We're talking Satan, everything that's too cool for YouTube. So sign up today at extratug.com. So whether it's because we're actually gullible enough to believe them, or we just think they're so stupid that they're funny, we love sharing dumb lies with each other, giving birth to the lowest level of hearsay and rumors. So get ready, Tuglets, because not even tinfoil hats will save you from the stupidity of these extra stupid conspiracies.
Here's a conspiracy theory that's believable. Every single big government, like United States, UK, Russia, China, Israel, all of those countries, the leaders are actually just friends with each other and are just doing stuff around the world to get more rich. Like the UK might say like they're enemies um with what's that country called? With Russia, but they're actually best buddies that are trying to get each other rich.
It's hard to say. Hey, do you guys like playing video games? Holding control?
Actually, here's a conspiracy theory that my mom told me. The President Zelensky, Ukraine, he actually doesn't want the war to end so he can stay president. That's a good conspiracy theory. I'm not sure.
Controllers, pressing keys? Of course you do. You're a big Tug fan. You're an absolute degenerate. And let me tell you, there's something more to video games other than pressing a button and getting a cookie. Sometimes you can fly planes and drive battles today for free on Xbox, PlayStation, PC, mobile, everything. New and returning players that haven't played for at least 6 months for PC.
Even on an iPod Touch.
And console, get this sweet bonus pack, which hooks players up with multiple premium vehicles, 100,000 silver lion coins,
Oh my
and
god, how long is it?
brain cell killing. Straight up lies. You know, the ones you hear the top line bit of and your brain involuntarily says, oh, a lie. You just lied to me to my face. But as dumb as these lies are, and trust me, brain cell killing, huffing glue levels of lying, maybe, just maybe, with my pea brain and very low level intellect, I could find myself on board the train. All right, up first of these conspiracy theories is that Finland doesn't exist. These are gonna be really hard now that I think about it. This one comes to us courtesy of, oh god, it's the Soviet Union. It's been a while, guys. I'm really trying to get away from it. There's just no escape from the Cold War. I put it on my merch. I mean, at this point, it all goes back to the Soviets. But according to this theory, Japan and the Soviet Union spread the lie that Finland rests between the USSR and Sweden, when in reality, there is no landmass there at all.
Something that's crazy to think about is that Japan is only like 2 countries away from the United States. You might think that it's like on the complete opposite side of the world, like 10 countries border in between us. No, Alaska is right next to Russia, and Russia is right next to Japan. If you want to get technical, technically it's 3 countries away if you want to exclude Alaska, because then they got Canada, Russia, and then Japan. I find that crazy.
But why would they conspire to make us think that Finland doesn't
It's still like thousands of miles away, like 7,000.
exist? Apparently, it's because the fishing in that area is really, really good, and they wanted it all for themselves. You know, your grandpa's secret fishing spot that, you know, he doesn't want anyone to go to? That's what they were doing, but on a geopolitical scale. Japan agreed to participate in the ruse in exchange for the right to fish there without worrying about international laws. And it goes even further. The Trans-Siberian Railway was built in order to help transport all of those fish to Asia. And once the fish got to Russia's east coast via railway, they would then be shipped to Japan under the guise of being Nokia products, which is why Japan was the #1 importer of Nokia products for much of the 20th century, which is crazy. It's crazy that Nokia phones are attached to Soviet-level lies about Finland. Of course, there's one pretty big issue here, the 5.6 million people who call Finland home and the country's 4 million annual visitors. But that's easily explained. You see, the people...
Australia's not real. I have 7 Australian friends. They're all not real. They're all AI or actors.
People visiting Finland just think they're visiting Finland. In reality, anyone who lives in or visits Finland is just in a remote forested area in Sweden, Estonia, or Russia. Now, does that all sound crazy? Of course it does. The number of people who would have to be involved in this conspiracy is a bit high. It's a bit above average. From airline pilots to map makers to all those Finnish celebrities.
This is literally just Australia isn't fake, but different.
Like, York, was she Finnish? It would be truly wild if the secret stayed a secret for nearly half a century. So how exactly did this conspiracy theory start to spread? Well, the internet. Every thing comes from the internet, you guys know that. In 2015, a Redditor posted this theory in a thread asking users what lies parents taught them as a child. So they laid out the Finland conspiracy, one that they willingly admit they don't believe, and it caught fire online. There's even a Finland conspiracy subreddit with over 43,000 contributors, or subscribers, whatever Reddit's doing. Now, I will say lying to children is very, very funny, almost every single time. But with the advent of the internet, you gotta realize that when you lie to people, you're reaching some of the most mouth-breathing basement dwellers on Earth. So it's kind of dangerous. Funny jokes become misinformation really fast. So maybe we'll pause on believing that one because it's kind of hard to, it's so stupid. But then there's Australia, a country that exists and is larger than the United States. And there's a conspiracy that it doesn't exist. So we're just gonna Plow through this one too. The story goes that in the late 18th century, Britain had 162,000 convicts that they wanted to get rid of. So they shipped them off to the fabricated country of Australia, when in reality, they just drowned them in the ocean. Now this plays off the idea that the British Empire is a big piece of shit that did a bunch of atrocities throughout its history, including Australia itself, where they committed multiple atrocities to the indigenous people who live there, including but not limited to mass killings, disease, violence, exclusion, they ruined their language.
I don't get that. Yes, after like the 1800s or after like 18, definitely the Americans. But I don't get what people say. Americans are colonizers and Britain is innocent. Do they not realize what Britain has done?
Erasure, environmental degradation, and child removal. Woo! It also leans into the fact that Australia was established as a British penal colony during that time, which, if you didn't know, is true. British people, if they had a problem with somebody, they wouldn't put them in a prison. They just throw them on a desert, giant continent island full of snakes and spiders and said, like, figure it out, king. British criminals would be exiled to the other side of the world and given harsh manual work. Wow, forced labor, crimes against indigenous people, all while expanding an empire? That's some classic British achievements. That's like getting...
You know what sucks? I had 3 views earlier and now I have 0.
Platinum on PS5. That is, you nailed all of them. To this day, 20% of Australians are descendants of convicts. And honestly, I'm not sure which one is weirder. The conspiracy that Australia does not exist, or the fact that Australia is pretty much just British bad boys. Which makes sense. I love Australians. Sadly, they don't exist, though. For Australia not to exist, we have to deny the existence of the crocodile hunter and the bloomin' onion from the outback. So those are both pretty rough for me. So how does the Australia theory counteract that? Well, they say every person you've ever met from Australia is an actor or is computer generated, which seems like a pretty big, that seems big. We're kind of just slipping into an alternative worldview where nothing makes sense.
Yeah,
but that's
all of my friends are fake.
Be par for the course nowadays. But it's called simulation hypothesis, and it's the belief that the universe is a computer simulation. That can warrant an entire video on its own, but to come up with a computer simulation world just to invent Australia is hilarious to me, and I think I'm gonna believe this one, because that just sounds like a good way to spend my time and resources. Speaking of simulation, did you know that James Cameron spent over $40 million on special effects for the movie The Titanic? It'll make sense in a second. Unfortunately, all that sweet cheddar was pretty much wasted because according to my next conspiracy, the Titanic didn't sink. This one's actually really fun. I have a lot of fun with this one. It's not as stupid as the other two. And what's the biggest reason for this?
I've heard a conspiracy theory that the Titanic didn't actually get hit with an iceberg. It actually got blown up by a sea mine.
Conspiracy theory? Is it aliens? It's insurance fraud. I'm telling you, it's actually interesting. Just wait a second. This conspiracy does include a sinking ship, but Titanic truthers believe that the sinking ocean liner in question was the Olympic. Both of these ships were owned by ultra-wealthy J.P. Morgan's White Star Line? What is that? Yeah, White Star Line, who in the early 20th century was competing with Cunard Steamship Company to build the biggest, fastest boats. But in 1911, the Olympic crashed into a military vessel. Whoopsie. Oops, you should have been looking out for them. Conspiracy theorists reasoned that to recoup their losses and keep from falling behind Cunard in the Battle of the Big Boats, the company disguised the Olympic
I remember back in like 2016, I think it was, I was obsessed with sinking ship stuff. Like, you'd catch me any time of the day. I'm either watching like BeamNG, I'm either watching BeamNG crash compilations, GTA mod videos, what's the other one? Happy Wheels, or sinking ship videos.
The Titanic and set sail on a predetermined voyage to collect insurance money. Adding fuel to the fire of this conspiracy is the fact that the Titanic didn't allow public inspection before its maiden voyage. I mean, some of that's up in the air, but now I'm on board. If you are a rich person planning to do some and you don't let anyone see it before it comes out, that's how it's like when a video game comes out and they don't do previews for reviewers. You know it's gonna be a show.
Match with a local TurboTax
expert
at our new in-person locations. They can file your taxes for you and keep you updated every step of the way. So get your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert.
Yeah, I actually need to like buy it to premium. Only if I do like reactions all the time. Nani?
There's only one glaring hole that makes this another dumb conspiracy. It's the money. Did you follow the money? The money doesn't add up, nya? The Titanic cost $7.5 million to build, but was only insured for $5 million. Sinking it wouldn't have helped at all. They would have lost $2.5 million in that time money. So like, I think $40 billion? I do like the concept. Maybe they just did it and there was math that I'm not seeing, but it seems stupid, but I do believe that one. I believe that one because it's fun. And it's such a long time ago that I don't care about the people who died. That makes sense, right? So moving on, no disrespect if you like Joe Rogan, but he does let some pretty whacked out people push their ideas on his podcast. But that makes the next conspiracy, known as Dinosaurs Don't Exist conspiracy, to be even more dumb because he debunked it on his show. And if Joe Rogan is debunking one of your theories on his show, you should feel kind of stupid. He's hosted paleontologists.
Is religion considered a conspiracy theory? Because I would imagine it would be. Like, obviously some people like believe in God and stuff, but then like isn't God kind of like a mythical creature that people believe in? I'm not sure.
Trevor Vail twice, allowing him to fully debunk any notion that dinosaurs didn't exist. And not to get all high and mighty here, but to besmirch the name of the Triceratops is disgusting. Ugh, disgusting. Those sweet, gentle souls just wanted to eat plants and chill. And they died to a big rock.
Dude,
and
I don't wanna, what's it called? Like, make fun of anyone's religion or anything. I don't get Indian religion at all. Like, they say, like, their river is their, like, mother or something, but yet they trash their rivers and stuff. Like, India is, like, one of those, like, weirdest countries, I feel like.
You should respect them. And by the way, who hurt you? Who doesn't want dinosaurs to exist? It's like a child finding out Santa isn't real and getting mad about it kind of behavior. But how did this conspiracy theory begin to spread? Who on Earth would have a lot of benefit by dinosaurs not existing? Who has a weird worldview that thinks the Earth started existing 2,000 years ago? Who would that be? Well, it's pretty much hyper-conservative Christians and professional athletes. And yes, I know, it is an oddly influential intersection between very uneducated people. But maybe it's worth going through a few
Oh my god. I hate Christians that say that evolution doesn't exist. Like, we have actual proof that evolution exists. Like, even if the world was made 2,000 years ago, there would be obvious evolutional things from like animals and humans and stuff. Like, isn't the tailbone in humans disappearing? Like, that's obvious proof of evolution.
Points to see if, you know, they have any leeway to make me not hate them. Big spoiler, I'm never gonna stop hating these people. For starters, dinosaur deniers claim that if dinosaurs did exist, we would find bones everywhere. So the fact that you don't trip over a pterodactyl femur on the way to your car every morning means they don't exist. But that's not true, because if you're not a idiot, you would know that fossils are rare because you have to get them in a rare situation. Bones from over 60 million years ago aren't just laying around everywhere. You get that.
And also the fact that if you're think of it like this: if you're standing next to a bomb, actually no, screw a bomb, a nuke, and that nuke explodes, your bones will no longer exist. Your bones are disintegrating.
Right? If that were the case, bones would be everywhere. You know how many things die every day? You know what I mean? Bones disintegrate. That's the whole point. We're made of stardust. We go back into the stars. That's my religion. They also claim that since the term
Yo, I know it's obviously not true. I have a conspiracy theory. Dragons actually did exist a long time ago, but their bones disintegrate when they die.
Dinosaur was coined.
I don't mean like how like our bones like eventually like dissipate. I mean like when they die, not even like a month or a year later, their bones are gone.
In 1842, that was when they were invented, which is supposed to be some kind of caught you in a lie sort of revelation. Honestly, I don't think I need. This is real dumb. I don't want to even dignify this with an answer. Just because something was named doesn't mean it didn't come into existence. Like, look at this big-nosed monkey. They named that recently, or at least within the last 50 years. It's right there. You know, we found it. We didn't have to dig. It was in a jungle, but like regardless, you know what I mean? It existed before we looked at. Do you have object permanence? Are you a baby? Are you a little baby? But at least as stupid as they seem, all these conspiracies are rooted in some sort of science. There's also an entire subgenre of conspiracies that only focus on celebrities. And we're going to talk about those. And these are dumber than the last ones because there's no science involved. It's just shit people made up. But I believe some of them. So once again, I'm pretty stupid. Up first, Marilyn Manson had a rib removed. Do you know about this one? Were you in middle school from the 90s to the 2000s? Do you know who Marilyn Manson is? If you don't know, Marilyn Manson was a goth-adjacent shock rocker in the 1990s. He scared the hell out of suburban parents across the country, and, you know, maybe for good reason. This wasn't a very savory guy. In recent years, he's faced a lot of abuse allegations. Even the kids who listened to him were kind of terrified of him. And I get that. Look at him. That is a scary, scary man. And in this weird pre-internet 90s, a rumor started to spread from middle school to middle school that Manson, certified weirdo, had a rib removed so that he could put his mouth on his own... I can't say. I really can't, because I can't risk getting demonetized again. Things are tight in the Big Tug household. But could you imagine anyone going to such lengths to achieve that, especially a rock star? Well, I guess specifically a rock star. If you've had everything, you might want to try something else. But somehow, this urban legend managed to spread from sea to shining sea, and for nearly a decade, every teen in America truly believed that Manson was giving himself brains. And given the fact that he turned out to be a giant piece of maybe this rumor was just some intergalactic karma coming his way. So just as an act of childhood whimsy, I still choose to believe it. On my heart, Manson's rib is floating around in some doctor's basement, and I really appreciate that. But that's just one in a long line of conspiracies about rock stars. One of the earlier rock star conspiracies came from the 1960s, when a rumor spread that Paul McCartney, bass player for the Beatles, actually died in a car crash in 1966, heading home from recording Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club's Band. I think it's very funny that Jimmy wrote in this script, Paul McCartney, bass player for the Beatles, as if you wouldn't recognize Paul McCartney's name, and also calling him the bass player for the Beatles is weirdly not, I don't know, it's kind of like, I don't know if Jimmy was making a joke there, but it's so he's the bass player. You know, it just has a connotation to it. Anyway, the story went that the rest of the Beatles decided to replace Paul with a lookalike and soldier on as if nothing happened. But eventually, they were overcome with guilt, and they started leaving messages in their songs and album covers. Now, it is true that Paul McCartney was involved in 2 car accidents around this time, but neither of them were anything major. However, that didn't stop a college student in Iowa from writing about the conspiracy in his school paper, which was shared with a New York disc jockey live on air. Soon, rock fans who were a little too drunk and a little too high started riffing on the idea. Apparently, the signs were everywhere, guys. We just weren't looking in the right places. So in the song Glass Onion, John Lennon sings, "Here's another clue for you all. The walrus was Paul." Okay, stay with me. And this was a reference to the song I Am the Walrus on the album Magical Mystery Tour. We're all familiar. And on the cover of that album, the Beatles are dressed in animal costumes, and the walrus costume, which is supposed to be Paul, is black. And stay with me still. Black is a traditional color people wear while mourning the dead. Okay, not convinced? We'll keep going. What about the cover of Abbey Road? Conspiracy theorists believe it represents a funeral procession. I'm sure you've heard this. Paul's not wearing shoes supposedly represents how some cultures bury people barefoot, and John's white suit represents the color of the mourning in certain Eastern religions.
Dude, I don't get it when people make their coffins like so fancy, get like $100,000 suit to put on the dead guy. I don't get that.
Denim outfit is supposed to be the gravedigger, which is kind of a reach, but whatever. And Ringo's black suit is
I can maybe understand if you're like mega rich, like a millionaire. Maybe I can understand it. But if you're just the average Joe and you make like $400,000 a year, why do you buy like the most expensive coffin and put like a $1,000 suit on the person that's dead? That seems like just a giant waste of money. If you're gonna bury them, just buy a coffin, put them in like a t-shirt or something.
Going to a funeral attire. So all of this is obviously insane and stupid, but the best part is the Beatles are so influential to pop music that even their conspiracies are influential. To this day, there are still thousands, well maybe not thousands, but a bunch of conspiracy theories about influential dead pop stars. Like the Avril Lavigne replacement theory, which surmises that the singer unalived herself after her debut album and was replaced by a body double named Melissa Vandal, whatever. Or the rumor that Andrew WK was replaced several times by actors as pawn for the Illuminati. Oh, and that Katy Perry is actually John Benet Ramsey. Kind of in the same vein, not really, but that one's fun too. Believe every one of them. I don't give a f. But maybe the dumbest of all these music conspiracies stem from the New York Public Library. Their Schaumburg Center for Research in Black Culture posted a photo online from 1939, featuring someone who looks exactly like Jay-Z. Exactly like that man. So the internet immediately lost their minds over this photo. This was back in 2013, so not only was Jay-Z near the height of his fame and power, mainstream pop culture conspiracies were still kind of quaint. Reddit and BuzzFeed, remember BuzzFeed, posted the photo asking people cheekily if Jay-Z was a time traveler. Even mainstream...
Do they not realize that people can look exactly like another person.
Media outlets thought the idea of Hove as a vampire amusing enough to feature it on their websites. Like People Magazine's online articles, 6 clues that birthday boy Jay-Z is actually an immortal being. I mean, people...
Wouldn't he have pictures of him as a kid?
Has never been the bastion for media integrity, but even for them, that's a pretty wild headline. So, what does this all mean? Absolutely nothing. Basically, we're getting lazy on the conspiracy front. We're just finding old pictures and shoehorning our conspiracies on top of that. Either they're secretly dead or immortal. It's two camps you fit into when you're a dead celebrity. Now, it's pretty easy to argue that a lot of the inspiration for conspiracies come from the unknown. We don't understand something, or we can't wrap our heads around it, like the evolution of dinosaurs, or Australian people, so we have to make up a story about it. We've done that throughout history. I'm not going to point to points that we did that because people are going to get really upset about religion. But as humans, it's helpful to make order out of all the chaos that surrounds us, which is why we have tons of alien conspiracy theories. Until recently, even just believing in aliens was enough to get you lumped into the conspiracy theorist camp. But today, nearly 65% of Americans believe in the existence of intelligent extraterrestrial life. And you know what? I'm one of them Americans. I'm one of Zems. I really believe in aliens. So
I don't understand people that say that aliens don't exist. Obviously, aliens exist. Even like micro, like biology, but like germs. Like obviously, there's gonna be like a germ on Mars or something. Even if it's dead, there's a germ on Mars. And also, aren't we technically aliens? Like, where do you think we came from? Did like meteors smack into Earth and we just popped onto Earth? Like, I feel like there's like something on a meteor that crashed into Earth, and now we're here. We came from asteroids that hit the ball that was forming into Earth. We're all technically aliens, I think.
But just because there's a high probability of intelligent life doesn't mean we figured out what exactly it is. That is, unless you're a conspiracy theorist. Let's talk about some alien conspiracies. They're also stupid, but they're a little bit fun. You want concrete proof that aliens exist? Look no further than redheads. Told you they're stupid. There's an entire conspiracy theory that gingers descended from aliens, specifically that they carry the DNA of a giant race of aliens called the Lyrians, who were aggressive, violent, passionate, and rebellious. Some conspiracy theories link them to the Norse Vikings. And, I must reiterate, this is obviously stupid as However, there are certain things that are pretty weird about gingers. For one, it's very rare to have red hair. Only 2% of the Earth's population have it. Studies show that they also perceive pain differently, which is wild. They have a better sense for changes in the weather. And according to sex researcher Dr. Werner Habermehl, they have more sex and an easier time getting there. Now, I'm not sure if any of that makes redheads aliens, but it does make them seem pretty cool. So high five a ginger next time you see one. They're nothing. But I mean, we've talked about celebrities and aliens and, you know, science. I just want to do some of my own conspiracies. Some things that I've been working on for a long time. Some things that I've been thinking about for way too long. Because I don't know, I feel like I have a lot of things that I want to talk about, and I have a Twitter. No one reads that, and I don't have time. They don't give me enough. I don't have enough space. So I'm just gonna yell at you guys, and you have to listen to my conspiracy theories because these are real. Number one, the computer is God. Computers are God now. That's what God, he said the second coming. I think it's computers, or the internet.
Speaking about computers, I cannot comprehend how a chip can have max memory. And how do you delete, actually, no, screw that. How do you get something on a chip and it maxes out the chip's memory? I don't get that. How does a chip have a max memory? And then, like, how do you delete stuff off of it? Where does it go? Where does the thing on the chip go? And like in Bluetooth, how does Bluetooth work?
I think Jesus is internet, and because if you think about it, you go to it when you have questions, when you're worried, you go to this is the rapture. You know what I mean? This is the bad timeline. The internet was the bad timeline. I think dentistry is made up. I really do. There's no one regulating this. So you go into a dentist's office. My poor boyfriend's girlfriend had 1,000 fillings because there's this crazy dentist in my hometown. No recent developments in dentistry ever. The fact that you have a bad tooth and they rip it out of your head.
Oh, here's a conspiracy theory. This isn't mine. I've heard this before. Candy was invented by modern candy was invented by dentists to make your teeth more worse. So you have to go to the dentist because you get cavities.
Okay, we tactics, but you guys know how I feel about chiropractors. I don't need to go into that. I don't get that at all. I don't know how they're made of metal. They weigh way too much. I don't get how planes stay in the sky. Don't get any of it. And I refuse to store paper.
I can get how planes can be in the sky because obviously like the jet and like propellers and stuff, obviously like they're like that makes sense. Like the bash the thing rotates. like it starts pushing you forward. It goes fast enough, like all that stuff. I don't get how container ships can float. How does a multi-thousand-ton ship stay afloat? I don't get that.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a stale starburst. You leave a starburst out, it doesn't change its chemical composition. I think that the government is controlling our reproductive health by flavor blasting things, like flavor blasted goldfish or the Cheez-Its with extra. I think that's it. I think that's all the conspiracies I could think of right now. If you have any in the comments down below that you'd like to get out, let me know. But besides that, like, comment, and subscribe, do all of those things. And once again, thank you to War Thunder for...
Yeah, also, wait, am I subscribed to him? Yeah, I am subscribed to him. Alright. That's gonna be the end of the live stream. I might live stream later tonight, with Vincent. I don't know what I would play though. Maybe like Roblox again or something. But yep, I will see you guys next time. Thank you to everybody that commented. Yeah. I will see everybody next time. Bye.